Hello, Mistwalkers! Welcome back to another episode of Tales from the Mists. You'll notice we have someone new over in the Dungeon Master's seat. Auntie, our Auntie TK, is away, which means I'm sure that this is going to be a lovely, fun episode where we frolic. We have mimosas in the prison. It'll be great. Goodness. So, if this is your first time tuning in, Tales from the Mist is a spooky gothic horror show set in the demi planes of dread in Ravenloft. We have four core cast members, which include myself, Vargas, Hadeel, Kayla, and Ashley, and two new guests. So let's go ahead and do some introductions. And let's start with our lovely guest dungeon master. Oh, Jen, you are muted.
I am muted. I had silence cast on me. Hi, I am Jen Kretchmer, and I am found on Twitter as @Dreamlist. I'm found on Twitch as Dreamlist Jen. I am part of the Beyond Heroes crew for D&D Beyond, and I'm very, very excited to be here.
No nightmares today, right? Only
no, it's going to be fine. It's absolutely sunshine and rainbows, and no horror, no death, no anything frightening. It's gonna be great.
We deserve a vacation.
Completely. Just don't look at what's in the sugar jar for the tea.
Okay. I'm Lysa Penrose. I play your heart of the party, Mercy Albrecht, tiefling, storm sorceress, changeling, who is ready to defeat death, basically. She's prepared. Hadeel.
I'm your pal, Hadeel. I play naughty boy Vargas, who has never faced any consequences to his actions. He really hasn't. He has a lesson in failing up, so... nothing bad ever happens. You just roll with it.
Lovely. Ashley.
Hello, I'm Ashley Warren, and I play Konstantina Avshalomov, which is how you pronounce her last name, although NPCs often don't pronounce it correctly. And she's ready to also maybe kill some bad guys and go on an expedition without the help of a really condescending person that we met in the last episode, who was fun. Yeah, but at first we liked him, but then he was a jerk. That's no fun.
At first we liked him, but then he kept talking.
You're right.
Kayla.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I play Vasily Ava Mordenheim, who loves to fail down and has a lot of consequences for her actions. Far too many. Please let me live.
And the first of our lovely guests, Kelly.
Hi, my name is Kelly. You might know me as the Opera Geek, and I am here playing for the first time Lila Sidur, who is a warrior monk.
No secrets. That looks like a face you can trust.
Totally.
And someone familiar to those who watch the D&D channel is our other guest, Chad.
Hello, I am Chad Quant, your friendly animation boy. I write for some cartoons like Troll Hunters and Unikitty and other cool stuff. And today I am returning to the D&D realm as Reader, the Warforged Rogue, the Inquisitive Rogue, who is very excited to make some friends and totally not lose any more body parts.
What's that on Reader's shoulder?
You know, that is a little, what would you call a souvenir he picked up from his previous encounter. One of his good, maybe one of his best friends, Nejma, sacrificed their eye for Reader in a very brave act. And now I just got an eye on my shoulder that I totally take very good care of, and I'm constantly lubricating it and keeping it wet. That sounds weird, but
yeah,
you know,
that came out odd.
Moist is better. Moist is better.
It's a moist boy. Emmy Award-winning writer Chad Cline.
Hello.
Eyedropper, just drip, drip.
Eyedropper, that was it, yeah. Just feeding it a little bit. Yeah.
Magical
that-
eyedropper.
Magical
Mage hand.
eyedropper.
Doop.
An endless decanter of water.
Yeah. It's an alchemy dropper.
Alchemy dropper. Oh my goodness. On that ridiculous note, I have a few announcements for everybody. The first is that, as always, we are doing giveaways. Our giveaway word for those watching live in the chat today is !shake up. !shake up to enter our giveaway to win our Mistwalker survival kits. And I was prepared today, and I actually brought all the things to show you. So, we've got Dicey Boys with Nicodemus on them. Speaking of other good boys, look at him. So good.
Ooh.
We've got a pin, Vargas's ascot pin with a cameo of Lolf. Look at it glitter. Look at it shine. So classy.
Ah.
We've got matchbook menagerie matches so that you can summon help. There's a secret message I don't think I've ever shown. Don't look at my nail polish. Oh, God. It says fire and fortitude. A beautiful new postcard by Kayla Cline. I mean, all of this is by Kayla Cline, really, for May Day. But Mayday. And a set of postcards, set of magnets that look like little Instax pictures of all of our characters. And you'll even get one of the originals from that photo shoot. I pulled a random one so you can see how pretty Constantina looks. So good. So all of those goodies could be yours in a Mistwalker survival kit. Put !shake up. We're giving away 2. In the later half of the show, Jack will be pulling those giveaway winners. So keep an eye on the chat. In case Jack calls your name, you're going to have to let him know that you are in the chat watching, still there. Or maybe TK will draw those names because our lovely Dungeon Master TK is in the chat right now. We miss you. Let's see. Some other announcements is if you would like some lovely spooky teas to drink while you listen to the Tales from the Mist podcast, for instance, some ambiance, some flavor, go to fridaytea.com. There is a Tales from the Mist set of teas that come in lovely vials, all with labels designed by Kayla, that are available in the podcast collections section of the website. There's also a Lantern in the Mist tea developed specifically for the show, representing Constantina, with delicious flavors like lavender and jasmine. So good. So check out those teas and support Friday Tea. They're a local business here in Seattle that makes nerdy, geeky teas. A bunch of flavors inspired by different RPG classes. There's like a fighter blend and a paladin blend. So please check them out and support and get some Tales from the Mist goodies. And then just my last announcement is a reminder to those of you in the chat that you might see us using our safety bucks or safety tools. I don't know if anyone actually has the safety bucks from Kienna's RPG safety kit. All of us have made our own. But these cards you'll see us holding up while we play, so we know if we're getting into any territory we're not comfortable playing with in this very spooky gothic horror show, or an O card if we're doing fine. We might look terrified, we might be terrified, but we're okay with the type of terrified. So if in case you're wondering what these are, they're our safety tools. Kayla, I lost my safety bucks. Oh no. And with that, all of our announcements, I think it's time to check in on our auntie.
Oh, Mistwalkers. I should have known you'd try and find me. Well, suffice to say, a little something came up, so I needed to visit my coven down south. But don't worry, I'll be back same time next week. The last time we saw each other, let's just say that all hell broke loose in the Temple of Mudar. After all, our Mistwalkers had found their way down there and spoken with the High Judge, and she didn't seem too pleased about the situation that Jericho left everyone in. But that's all right, isn't it, Mistwalkers? After all, our heroes, they took the quest given to them by the High Judge. And even now they descend far below the city's surface into God King Onctopot's tomb. You see, Onctopot must not rise. I'm sure they'll find some way of getting what they want and saving the day, but not before running into a couple small obstacles. Don't worry, Mistwalkers, we'll be there every step of the way. But for now, I suggest you do what I do. Sit back, relax. Let someone else tell this chapter of the story. It'll be unforgettable.
I guess Auntie wasn't in today. In that case, Jen, take it away.
All right. Well, we begin our story with a mystery. In fact, Reader and Lila, you both seem to be interested in mysteries. And one has come to your attention. You see, in the city of Mudar, where our story takes place, even before the walls came down, people were going missing. Rarely, but just often enough that those in charge had started to take notice. The most recent person to go missing was a bureaucrat, Maka, a Horosite who managed the paperwork for the agreement between the Temple of the Horosites and Dr. Kettle's research team. The only clue that's been found to indicate their whereabouts was a favorite quill they used to write in their favorite scroll, which was stored in their favorite government-issued scroll case, which was emblazoned with the head of Nibis, which they were never without. Their beloved ostrich quill was found abandoned on the side of the road to the High Temple, but the bureaucrat was nowhere to be found. You have both been following their trail as best you can, but work beckons. For Lila, it is to the Temple of the Horosites. And for you, Reader, it is to the team of Dr. Balthazar Kettle. You both have been conscripted, however, to assist in an expedition. Lila in a protective capacity, Reader in a research capacity, to aid with Dr. Kettle's expedition, and you are sent with a foregroup into the tomb of Onctopot. You are currently down beneath the tomb, having been sent several hours ago. You are in a room that is it's a large, you entered it through a large sand-covered stone, which creaks and shifts suddenly, and silently then descends into the depths of the sands. Beneath that stone is a small room, empty save for a chiseled sarcophagus. And the walls are covered in hieroglyphs. It's dark in here.
All right.
Why don't you describe yourselves and tell me what you're doing?
Would you like to go first?
Oh no, please. I defer to you.
I hope that our characters just both kind of just like bow and just, well, please, you go first. Please, you go first.
But you. I insist.
I'm happy to introduce myself. I am Reader the Warforged, here at behest of my current employer. I love exploring worlds and learning more about them in the hopes of I might someday get back to my own realm. And I have this whole thing about my father being murdered. I think Reader just goes on for like 5 minutes overtelling his personal story about his father being murdered and his killer getting escaped and no one listening to him. And you're like, yes, that's fine. And I just go, but if anything, I can help with this. And I light a little candle on the top of my Warforged helmet head to shed some light on the room.
And the light illuminates out of Reader's candle. You can see the entire room is covered in hieroglyphs. There seems to be something potentially over in the corner of the floor, but it's hard to tell from here. Lila, tell us about what you look like now that Reader can see you a bit more clearly.
So what you see, Lila is a very tall, kind of bronze-skinned Aasimar, and her eyes are green, completely green. They just kind of glow with this very dull light. Her head has been shaved very close, and she wears the uniform of a warrior monk, a guard at the Temple of Mudar. She looks inquisitively around the room and wonders aloud to the Warforged. Do you recognize any of the writings in here?
I'm happy to digest them and see what I do. Would this be the first roll of the game?
This would be the first roll of the game. Please give me an investigation roll.
I'm not sure if Lila should as well, given that she does spend time in the temple. But,
yes, go ahead. And Lila, you can do investigation or history, your choice.
Okay. All right, that is a 15.
Okay.
17.
Okay, perfect. Yes, so Reader, what you're understanding here is the architectural aspect of this. Neither of you speak the language that these are written in, but you can glean from them the substance of what they're describing, which is the construction of the temple here. That it was built over many years as a shrine and a resting place for the god king Octopot and her ilk. That there were hundreds involved in the building of the temple. Lila, you are able to ascertain a bit more about the period in which this occurred, the hundreds of years ago. And you can tell that the story seems to go on for longer than what would be considered a typical time for providing that sort of a building. Ordinarily, it would be built relatively soon after the passing of the God King. And because all of the servants would have passed as well. And once all of the servants were passed, the tomb would be completely sealed up, and that would be the end of things. This seemed to go on for some time after that, historically.
Does it say anything here about properly maintaining and cleaning of the tomb as he brushes sand out of all of his gears and cogs?
Yeah, you do the stone slab that came down lifts silently back up, and some more of that sand falls down. This room is not filthy, but it's definitely not been particularly well maintained. You don't see a cleaning crew described. You don't see any mechanisms built in for hygienic purposes in terms of the tomb maintenance. And so it's taken some time to decipher these. And then on the other side of the far wall, you hear a thudding, the rushing of footsteps, some screams coming as well. All of the rest of you have just come through the mural in the temple, where fiends were attacking on all sides. Your friend Sorrow, and you had a number of friends with you, and Sorrow was you heard a loud scream, and you kept running. Some of the fiends got past. They grabbed some of the researchers. You had about 15 researchers with you, as well as Dr. Balthasar Kettle and his assistant Temperance. And you all were sprinting. Some of the assistants were grabbed by these fiends. They were shredded on the way. So you are going because they are chasing you. You come up against a wall at the end of this tunnel, these long stairs you've descended. What would you like to do?
Oof.
Oh my goodness. Mercy probably makes sure that all of her friends and researchers get as close to the wall where she's assuming there's some way to get through, and she wants to stand between all of them and any pursuing demons.
All right, and you do.
Would Lila and Reader have been able to hear which wall this was behind?
Yes, this would be the south wall.
In that case, Lila would...
I'm sorry, it's the north wall. Apologies.
She would gently push Reader behind her and interpose herself between the wall and Reader and ready herself and say to him, "Generally, I find the dead do not make this much noise."
Give me a perception check, please.
Oh boy.
And Reader, you as well.
Okay.
Perception. Oh no. I mean, it's me, so we knew it was gonna happen. Natural 1.
Nice.
Oh.
That is 19 for me.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
You do hear. Well, I mean, you should just let me through. Come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Well, I shouldn't be standing here. Hurry up. You recognize it as the voice of Dr. Balthasar Kettle.
Ah, it is our employer, and he sounds quite distressed. If there was only some way to gently remove this wall away without disturbing any of the important information, hieroglyphs, I'd love to write down all of them. Do you think we could wait? We probably can't wait.
What would
It
you like
does
to
not
do?
sound like they want to wait.
Perhaps a good heave-ho shove? Is there any maybe loosen this wall?
Yeah, you go to put. Do you want to push it? Do you want to lift it? Do you want to slide it? What would you like to do?
If I can see anywhere I can like grab, like get purchase on it, if there's any kind of like nooks or crannies, I would definitely be down to try to like jimmy my rapier in there and kind of like pry it open.
Okay, you go to do that, and it turns completely. Bookcase style.
Oh, very
sideways.
handy.
And it opens up. The rest of you, it turns as the wall that you are up against turns horizontally, and you are able to see a room beyond where there is a monk in temple garb, and there is a tall, constructed fellow.
Hello.
Mercy starts shepherding people through. She's the closest to the demons.
You hear, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Go in. Hurry. And she starts
and Kettle
pushing
sort of
people a
shoves
little.
his way through, pushing you aside.
Bosley shuffles in and is immediately just honing in on Reader because she's like, oh no, it's another construct creature. So she just wants to start examining him very subtly, kind of awkwardly to the side, standing a little too straight and kind of side-eyeing him.
Sure, I think Reader's just waving to you the entire time. This has not stopped yet, like a winch.
Queek, help me close the door. And Mercy's trying to push the door closed again.
I will help Mercy push the door. My arms are full of more Beanie Babies that look like Vasily. I just have so many of them and I refuse to give them up.
Where did they come from?
I don't
down.
I know. They're helping. I'll make one help.
It's not helping a lot.
Excuse me. Where did you come from?
Hello.
The other way.
And so the door, everyone comes in and the door closes. It's pretty cramped in here now. This isn't a huge room, and you now have 17 people-ish in here. It's with the researchers and the entire expedition team. So this is the rest of the expedition team that you were expecting to be here.
Including
and
Dr.
I just wasn't
Balthazar, right?
expecting-
Yeah.
including
the
Dr.
babies
Balthazar Kettle,
at
who
all.
adjusts his ascot and or his red kerchief, and he tweaks his beard, he twists his mustache, and I knew what I was doing.
No, you didn't. I knew that you were like.
Absolutely, I did. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then why are you like shrieking and running up the hallway? Like we're all trying to get to safety, but you don't need to like push everyone else out of the way.
I think I saw you cry a little bit.
Yeah, that was not very subtle or cool.
Well, you thought wrong, right, Temperance? And Temperance, who is a young woman with short curly hair and a pair of glasses and some freckles. She goes, "Oh, yes, Professor, yes." And you've realized as you've spent a bit of time with them while they were talking upstairs, she is. He refers to her as his intern. She is quite competent in her own right, and seems to be constantly taking notes for him. She has a notebook where she's completely engrossed in taking notes of everything he might say, and seems to cross-reference information that he may provide with information that she already knows.
We came from the temple to, what's left of the temple, maybe. But we are here to stop the God King Octopot, who maybe is an avatar of death.
Oh, I assumed that they were dead. Well, centuries ago. Is that not the case?
You have heard the tales of Octopot from Dr. Kettle. Give me a history check,
please. Also, while I'm doing this, I'm like, Doctor, we found a door. Are you proud of us?
Well, my boy, that's quite an achievement. Where?
That's a 23 for history.
Okay. Yes, you know that Octopot was the God King of the region. That Octopot was put to rest. And as part of an agreement that there was Sekhmet and Octopot were the two warring powers. Octopot was, as long as they both slept, there was peace. This is not the case anymore. Sekhmet is back, and Dr. Balthazar Kettle is responsible and has a scroll which is said to help keep Octopot asleep.
Okay.
Because chaos will reign should Octopot rise. That's the cause of all of the recent problems in Mudar with the shield coming down and the undead and fiends walking the lands.
Sure, just tucking an undead god in. That sounds easy. That sounds great. Yeah.
There's already much imbalance. We have
Indeed.
to try to correct this any way we can.
Oh, yeah, I think that's an excellent idea.
Yes.
Are you also employees of Dr. Balthazar?
Absolutely not.
We also don't work for Vardgis.
Right, we work for ourselves. Thank you very much. And I would like, I'm kind of tired of people assuming that we have to work for somebody. If they just asked us nicely, we would have helped.
We get
But
it,
instead they had,
Constantina,
arrested
you're a
us.
strong, independent lycanthrope. We get it. I'm just gesticulating with one of the babies. We understand. We, for the last time, always she's always like this. I wish I had an actual beanie baby to just every
Note
day.
to self, get Hadeel beanie baby.
It's just for me. Can I know which Beanie Baby are you thinking it's the most like? I don't know if we want to give shout outs to Ty, but
Sponsored, not sponsored.
is this like a Princess Diana bear? Is this more of that lobster? Which
The lobster.
Oh man. No, it has to be one of the ones from McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, super tiny and crappy.
Little keychain ones.
Sorry, didn't mean to open that can of worms.
Kayla, please.
Wow, I can't believe the whole cast fell apart. In
Listen,
episode 33.
I'm observing. This is a fascinating dynamic, which actually Lila is doing. She's watching it almost like a tennis match, going like she's trying to comprehend what is going on. This is very out of the realm of what she normally experiences from people.
As soon as Reader started talking, Mercy's eyes got really big and wide, and she's been like, it's very crowded in this room, so she's edging like through the crowd towards Vasily until she's next to Vasily, kind of with Vasily between her and Reader. And she's gonna kind of lean over Vasily's shoulder and whisper, I don't know if it's rude to ask it, but is that a golem?
Vasily is like not really paying attention. She's been very carefully trying to subtly lift Reader's hat because she wants to see if the candle is powering him or if there's some other power source. So she's just like very like bead of sweat rolling down her head as she like tries to lift the hat without him noticing.
As Reader just blinks obliviously into the distance, not thinking about it at all.
Excuse me, why are you manhandling my colleague?
Are you Vasily like freezes? She's like,
I should have mentioned too, Lila is quite big. She is an Aasimar, so she is quite tall and a little bit imposing.
I was just curious about how he works. And she like carefully pulls her hands back.
You may ask him. He is very talkative.
Is he yours? Does he belong to you? Did you make him?
He belongs to himself.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I am sort of a free agent right now. Currently working as freelance for the good doctor, but yeah. So you all talking about this idea of kind of just being self-employed, and this is a new idea the Reader's never thought of before. And he writes down in his notebooks like, maybe capitalism isn't the answer. And just kind of quickly like,
Socialism?
Socialism? Question mark?
A crudely drawn Karl Marx with like arts around him.
Yeah. But for Vasily, I think Reader wants to quickly like lift off his hat. He goes, if you would like this, please help yourself. I have no need for warming my head.
Oh my gosh. Vasily is like one of those cartoon characters with little stars in her eyes because she's just like, oh my god. He writes in a book. Like in her head, there's like this little montage. Like he writes in a book. He's thinking about capitalism. Oh my gosh, she's so advanced.
Does the book that Reader has, is it on the front? Does it say like Book of Crimes and it's like crossed out? It says like Book of something else.
Wow.
Economics.
I would argue that capitalism is going in the Book of Crimes.
Okay, just want to make sure we still have the Book of Crimes.
Yeah, no, he still has this Book of Crimes. It is bursting. Pages have been like inserted very erroneously. There's like fold out sheets. It's very Marauder's map kind of. There's a lot of like notes stringing by, but yeah, there's definitely a new section of just like economics question mark.
A whole chapter.
Dr. Kettle is standing next to Temperance and saying, take note, on this day, I, Dr. Balthasar Kettle, have discovered the tomb of Octopot. Pardon me. The tomb of Octopot.
I look at this intern and I'm like, don't write that down.
Well, the sarcophagus of Octopot.
Mercy's...
Because there is a large sarcophagus in the center of the room.
Mercy's gonna move toward the sarcophagus and she says, is this it? We just went through the wall and we're here? Is this it?
Of course. What else could it be?
Sincerely doubt that this would be the sarcophagus of the God King.
Should we crack it open and see what's in it?
Go ahead and give me an investigation roll, please.
Me?
Yes.
Snakes.
7.
7?
We found it!
It might be it. This could be it.
Could I do like a either an intelligence or history check to see if there's any certain markings on the sarcophagus itself? I know we were looking at the walls, but sort of like
go ahead and give me perception on this.
Okay.
And also for Lila, because she would have had some type of religious stuff having been in the temple, She was
Sure.
kind of perception as well. You would like, or
Yes, please.
That is a
Vargas-
15.
Oh, can Vargas also look? Like, Vargas knows well.
Yes.
So, like, can
Yeah.
he? Okay. All right.
sadly only an 11. There are too many people in here. I can't see anything.
So 15?
Okay, both of you had a 15. So you both recognize that there is dimpling on the outside. It's been chiseled. And Vargas, you can pretty clearly, because you might have done this before, tell that this was once covered in gold and it's been removed by thieves.
Yeah. Be like, oh, yeah, this. Somebody's already been in here. Sorry, Professor. It looks like you did not discover this one.
Oh, well,
I'm just saying, gold's been nicked. Not that I would ever do that. I've definitely seen it done though.
oh, well,
Vargas, you're so knowledgeable.
I am. I know a thief when I see one.
well,
of
no
these
one's
around
written a
here.
book about it, so twist his mustache.
You've got me there, chap. Nobody has written a book about discovering something that they did not discover. I like the cut of your jib. I'll have to write a book about that later.
I think readers added to his side book on this discovery. It said discovered by Dr. Balthazar, but there's like an asterisk now. It's like first technically found by Lila and reader on behalf of Dr. Balthazar.
Nice.
The tomb thieves have become very audacious to attempt this.
Surely a god king wouldn't let someone steal from their tomb. Mercy knocks on the sarcophagus a little bit. Hello.
I don't think.
Mercy, as you touch the sarcophagus, your gravesight kicks in.
Oh.
And you see a figure, and it actually almost comes out of the hieroglyphics on the walls. You see them start to move a bit, and what you see is a person who is overseeing this building of this tomb, the person who has created it and shaped it and described it and is commanding the process of building it. And then you see their life as they watch it being built, and then you see their death, and then it sort of trails into the ground and toward the sarcophagus.
Mercy had knocked on the sarcophagus and then kind of collapsed onto it a bit as she's hit with all of these visions. No, this is not the God King. This is someone else. A great person, though, who created the tomb to house the God King while she slept. Sorry, Professor.
Still a good discovery, Professor. Still very good discovery.
Why, thank you, Rita. Thank you.
It's like 2 degrees from the important person, so you did it.
Well, that's all that matters is I did it. He adjusts his kerchief. And I wasn't scared.
Okay.
Lila would like to keep checking around the room to see if she can find any other exits.
Sure.
Including
you
touching
find-
the walls to see if there's any,
Yeah,
fancy
you find
push buttons.
a panel in the corner that pretty easily lifts off and aside. And it leads to a stairway. It's fairly narrow, but there is a stairway that leads down.
I believe we have found our exit, or at least where we go onward.
I would be happy to take the stairs. Is there a sound, by the way? Are we still hearing like the demons outside the door we close, like the wall?
You are hearing snarling and growling, but it has lessened than from what it was while you were right after everyone arrived. They seem to have lost interest a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anyone worried about the gnashing and gnawing outside? Should we maybe leave someone behind to guard the way, so to speak?
Oh, I thought we'll leave Balthazar. who is very brave, and he could just
Oh.
stay here.
Oh, I'm very brave, but if there's more to discover, I'm going to discover it.
You first said, Mr. Kettle.
Excellent. Temperance, why don't you go first?
Don't make her go first. You're the brave one,
I
apparently.
will
You
say,
want
if
to make
she
all those
goes
discoveries.
first, she technically discovers it. I make the
True.
rules.
Well, I'm there to do the discovery. I mean, she wouldn't know what she's looking at. She needs me. So,
I do believe that
we had a forward
I
expedition team for a reason.
Lila has given up on listening to this, and she mutters something to herself and illuminates so that she casts light. And
Okay.
then she begins to make her way carefully down the stairwell. And because Kelly has done this before, can I please make sure there's no traps as I'm walking?
Give me a perception check, please.
Oh, good.
So you are as you're going down this stairwell, it is very narrow. It's about 3 feet wide, and there's only about 4 feet of headroom. So you're going to have to duck down as you go down this stairwell.
That was a 19.
Okay. Yes. As you're going down, you realize that you sort of are kicking stones and dirt down ahead of you, and you realize that there's something. One of the steps seems off, and when you look closer, you realize that that's a pressure step. It seems like it activates going downward, going upward, but not going downward. So there are 2 steps involved in that. The activating step is down below, and the deactivating step is up above. So you can step on the deactivating step and then you're fine to go down. But if you were to step on the activating step and go up, it would go badly.
I would relay behind me just for everybody to watch where they're going and where they're putting their feet. Because it is very narrow, and if one of you falls, all of us are going to fall.
Very, very deep and well said.
Are you
Reader
making
will
fun
follow.
of me, Reader?
No, never. Making fun of a friend would be the worst crime. I will follow along with you as a part of our away team.
If he's a golem, he's a nice golem. I've only met one nice golem before.
Well, miss, I'm not necessarily a golem, though you're not technically wrong, I guess. I'm a warforged, and a synthetic being built by a human inventor. So very similar to a golem, but I would prefer warforged, even though I don't really war as a verb.
But you were forged.
I was forged, so that part is correct. More like a book forged.
It sounds like the same thing, but if you want to be called a Varforged, I will call you a Varforged.
That's a much cooler word.
It sounds like a nerd. Vasily, did you make this and forget about it, or what?
I don't. That's honestly what she's trying to figure out. She's been staring at him a lot. She wants to claim this one.
No, good ones can be used.
Oh.
Not something wrong with it.
Yeah. If you build warforges, I would like to ask you many questions.
You should ask her all the questions. I wouldn't call them warforged as much as an abomination, but you should ask her so many questions. Don't stop. Just keep asking. She loves it.
Okay.
He's very good at asking questions.
I am very good at asking questions.
He also answers them.
Perhaps we should do our interview not in these limited stairwell, though.
That sounds
You're
cool.
We should keep
all hunched over, coming down this very, very low ceilinged area. And you reach a platform, and people start to fan out a bit. And as you do so, you hear a scream from to your right.
To our right at the base of the stairs?
On the platform, where people have sort of started to fan out.
Like a humanoid, I'm in danger scream, or like a screech?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no. Mercy just runs in that direction.
And Lila would as well.
As soon as you turn, you realize that the floor has crumbled away from a part of the landing that you're on, and beneath it are spikes, and a person has fallen and landed and been impaled. One of the expedition members.
Oh no.
Lila would reach out and grab Mercy, by the sleeve so that she doesn't go flying.
Oh no, does it look like, are they like still screaming? Like, does it look like they could be helped?
Potentially. They are pretty far down. They're about 50 feet down.
Oh. Are you all right down there?
There is screaming. Screams of absolute agony.
Oh no, oh no.
Wait, these are like 50 feet down?
Yeah, it's about 50 feet down.
Can I try to cast a spell to help them?
You may, absolutely.
I would like to... So worth using a 3rd level spell. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word, which has a 60-foot range.
Okay.
They get...
Are you healing them while they're on the spike?
Well, I don't know what to do. I just am trying to like...
Well,
Just bring them slightly back to life so they can...
Perhaps we should lift them off the
Screaming.
spike
Mercy,
before you kill them, or before you heal them.
Mercy, you catch Mercy, and she's like panicking, and she's going to lean down, crouch down, and wave her hands. And I have a 60-foot range on Levitate, and I'm going to delicately remove them from the spike while Constantina is like standing there figuring out what to do.
As you lift them off of the spikes, you see that the spikes were barbed.
Oh no, I made it worse.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably the one that robbed the tomb, so I don't feel too bad about it. But
Oh, it was one of our expedition members.
oh, is it? Well,
Why
he could have still robbed the tomb.
Yeah.
This is
I don't
why you
know.
let the forward party go forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this area is very much covered in cobwebs. It is upstairs. It was a little bit less filthy. Here, the wear and tear of time has suffused the tomb. You can smell the dust and the decay and the rot, but it's so ancient it almost has faded away. And so right now you have this person lifted up. They are bleeding down onto these barbed spikes.
Mercy's saying what I said, like, oh no, Constantina, help! Are they still alive, or is it like they're screaming and then I've levitated them off and it's silent?
They are not they are at least unconscious.
Oh no.
Well,
What have I done?
Can you like continue to hold them and I could try to heal them? Can we bring them back up here?
I can only bring some up so far. They're 30 feet away from us now.
I also have levitate with my instrument.
Levitate lets you lift someone up to 20 feet vertically.
Would that stack?
I don't know. I
Like
leave that up to
Mercy
Jen.
did it.
Yeah, you know
I did
what? If you want to work together to make that happen, I am going to say it stacks.
Let's use
You
all
can
our
make
spell
another
slots on this on Brad.
That's fine. Well, I have lots
Yeah.
of charges.
They are now Brad. They are now canonically Brad.
Okay, so this is not a Brad we already know and love. This is a new...
No.
Okay.
This is someone we witnessed being very badly hurt, and we're just trying to help. But I will use my my violin has some spells that are innate within it, so I'm going to use one of those charges to cast levitate to help bring them another 20 feet.
What does it look like when you use a violin spell?
Yeah.
So,
please
all of-
describe this.
Pretty much all of my magic comes through my violin anyway, and it's always like safely stored in this like I have this like kind of violin bandolier that keeps it kind of like compressed against my body, but it's not like a full violin case because that would be not great for adventuring. So it's not so much that I also have my bow on like my hip. It's like hanging next to my sickle. So it's not so much that I'm actively like playing my instrument. It's more that I kind of like reach for it and I touch it and it's like infused with this like I guess this like kind of faint red glow. So I'm going to kind of like invoke the magic from my instrument and cast levitate So that brings them within like about 10 feet.
Maybe.
Okay.
If they're 10, no, that's still too far to reach. How tall is Reader?
I am pretty tall. I think like 6 to 7 feet, I believe. Maybe I could. I want to basically like take your very strong monk hand and basically like. Have you ever heard of a human chain or a warforged chain, if you will? Take my hand, and I want to like reach out and like lean forward with my rapier and like hold onto the blade with my hand and just give the handle to that person to grab hold, like, and try to like fish them in like a a half dead goldfish out of the aquarium.
Lyla will, kind of release where she had been holding Mercy, and she, braces Reader, and she's like, please don't fall.
Reader, how much do you weigh?
Oh, that is a good question.
Lila, I'm gonna need a strength check from you, please.
Great. You've already seen how well I roll, Chad. So I think this was a great idea. It was nice knowing you.
I have full faith in you. I've Reader's fallen to his death many a time, and he always turns out okay.
I mean, as I pointed out, Lila's the one who apparently got drawn wearing a red shirt, and you called us the away team. So thanks for that. I appreciate it.
I should probably realize that.
Chad, didn't you fall off of an airship in the last show Reader was on?
I dove off an airship.
Truly?
You did. You did.
I rolled a 19 on the die.
Yay!
Nice.
Okay.
And my strength is... Where's my stupid strength? Sorry.
I've got your strength. Your strength is 14, so it's a +2.
+2, so yeah, 21.
Okay.
Strong. You strong girl.
I'm strong.
So, Reader I'm assuming you're pretty heavy because you are made of metal. However, there were some replacements made to you since you've arrived through the mists. And those replacements were made of dark wood. So they are significantly lighter than they used to be. So Lila is able to grab hold of you, and you reach out your rapier to this floating person who is very much broken and bleeding as they are hovering in the air. Did you get a healing word off on them? You're currently focusing on floating them, correct, Constantina?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, my plan was to kind of bring them up and then cast healing, but I think if we are trying to bring them like back to us, I might save my healing until then.
Okay, they are unconscious, so they are not going to be able to think about grabbing onto the rapier.
I don't know if this helps. I'm trying to gently bat them out of the air over to us, kind of just like lob them over. Yeah.
This is like the worst claw machine game ever.
Give me an attack roll, but it won't be an attack. It'll be a grab them.
Okay, sure, cool.
I mean, they've got like a giant hole in them. Can he just like grab them by the giant impaled hole and yank them over?
I'd spoon the spear right through.
You could, but you're using a blade to do that.
Use what you got. I mean,
would I be adding my plot bonus to hit to that? Okay, so that'd be a 16.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to bat them towards you close enough that you can grab hold. And, they are slippery with blood, but you are able to pull them to you and get them back onto the solid area of the landing.
Well done, team. Well done.
And Brad is now battered and broken and unconscious, but on the landing.
I would like to cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
On them. Let's see. So this is just by touch. So I'm just going to put my hand on the not injured part of their body. And they get casting it up level 2. So they should get at least a few points. Let's see. Oh, not great. Oh, that's a little better. That's really 2d8 plus 4. That's pretty good. Sorry, I'm trying to do math and my brain is not functioning. That is 13.
Okay. Yeah, so some of Brad's wounds knit. He stops bleeding out so profusely, and the wounds begin to knit. He is still not in fantastic shape, but there is one of the expedition members said, I can stay with him. We can go back up there, and I can carry him up. I know which stairs to avoid. We can just sit tight there, and I'll take care of him.
How is he down here?
The expedition has about 15 members.
I just thought that Reader and I were the forward team. I thought we were the ones.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were leading the whole group down the stairs. I thought you were just going out in front.
Oh, okay. He just did this. Okay.
This all just happened on the landing.
I thought this was he's been here for a while thing, and I'm like,
oh no!
How did he get here?
This just happened. Everyone landed on the landing, fanned out, and then part of the landing collapsed, and he fell.
I think we're just worried about someone stealing our thunder as the.
Yeah, I mean, it's important.
Yeah, Brad. The only thing Brad can lay claim to is discovering those spikes, and he discovered them with his torso.
We shall call them Brad Spikes. I make a note down in the book.
Or we could just call them Brads, and we can use them to hold paper and folders.
Take an inspiration for that.
As everybody who didn't go to school in the late 90s goes, what's a Brad? No.
It's an impaled adventurer. Made of brass. All right. So you are on a landing. There is a 1 square of the stone of the landing has fallen out. There are stairs down on the other side of the landing as well that continue down.
I think we should continue downwards, but before the carekeeper of Brad takes him back to the room upstairs, Mercy is going to dip her claw in Brad's blood and draw an Eternal Order symbol on the palm of the caretaker. And she says, This is very important. Should something happen to Brad, should he not make it, you must draw a circle and send the symbol all around to prevent the spark of life and his coming back as an undead. If you're in the Tomb of Death, we must take every precaution.
Okay.
This is the best reaction Mercy has ever had to her Eternal Order beliefs. Yeah, cool.
And he sort of, or the caretaking person picks up Brad, slings them over their shoulder, and stomps back up the stairs.
Before he goes up, Reader goes, hey, you get him some water.
You watch the steps, the 2 steps. Oh, God, I
hope they did say that they knew which steps to avoid. So.
Okay, good.
Let's see if they do. Yeah, they do. And they continue up. What would you like to do?
Well, first thing, Lila will go over to Mercy. Now, I'm not familiar with how big your character is. Is your character quite big or quite small?
Kind of in betweeny. She is she's taller than me. She's like 5'8".
Okay, so I mean, Lila's about 6'3". So she kind of stands next to you and looks down, and I'm sorry for grabbing you. I did not want you to fall.
That's okay. Thank you for stopping me from falling to my death on the Brad spikes.
The Brad spikes were very bad. Yes. Maybe next time we should break the spike off and bring the whole thing up. But the pulling him off was probably not. It's fine. You tried your best. And she'll just walk away. She'll walk away. She tries. She's trying to be comforting. She's just not good at it. So she would go back by Reader, and I guess they would take a look around and see how to go further down.
Okay, so the stairs down on the other side, you can avoid that collapsed area and continue down the stairs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hopping over it. You just do like a hop over.
Yeah, you can even just step around. It was just one area of the platform that you're on.
Okay. Shall we go ahead, Dr. Balthazar?
That was yes, discovering the things. the guidebook says, my experience says we should go ahead with the adventure, the discovery,
Oh my God.
finding the tomb, sleeping.
Vasily like rolls her eyes and groans really loudly and just shoves him in the direction of the stairs, just like very roughly.
Would you like to go first, Doctor? Your experience could be invaluable.
I think you were doing a great job.
No, I think that, I mean, none of us know how to avoid Brad spikes. Clearly, you are the expert here. And Vasily shoves him again towards the stairs.
All right. And he reaches into his pocket and he takes something out and he starts speaking an incantation. And you see that his eyes suddenly sort of light up with arcane energy, and he starts looking around. And he goes, well, I don't see anything else ahead.
What?
I think we're okay. And he starts walking down the stairs.
Why didn't you do that before?
What was that?
Yeah, is there any way we are able to pick up the mutterings, the incantation?
What language was that in?
Anyone who is trained in Arcana may do this. Those of you, all of you except for maybe Lila would know that he is a wizard, and he has said he is a powerful wizard.
I mean, he says a lot of things.
It's true. He does say a lot of things.
Vasily is also a powerful wizard, so...
I'm a scientist, Vargas.
Science.
I rolled a 12 Arcana.
Oh.
Let's see.
If we're doing a check, I would like to.
That was a 6.
He does magic.
14.
The two of you who had 12 and 14, so Mercy and Vasily, recognize it as some sort of magic that gives sight or vision, awareness, something in that vein. You could recognize words for sight in there somewhere.
So Vasily clears her throat loudly and is like, so I guess you should lead the way then, if you can see.
Well, I didn't. Of course, I knew that I should have done that from the very beginning.
I think Reader outstands a hand to the doctor. It's like, come with me, doctor. I'll hold your hand down the stairs. If you fall, I'll fall too.
Vasily like reaches because she does not want Reader to get damaged. She's just like, okay, fine.
Okay, and he does take your hand, Reader, and sort of grips it very tightly.
Sure.
And you continue down the stairs, hunched over, and finally the stairs open up. And as they do, there is a small door in front of you, and he pushes it open. And when he does, everything opens up.
What do we see?
As you walk out, you see an enormous room. I mean, we are talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet high. There is an enormous stone statue of a woman who dominates the view before you. Your head barely reaches her ankles. The statue is seated on a block. Her hands are flat in her lap. She's dressed in a shift, and she has a large round collar that glints with gemstones way, way up high. And she is wearing a crown. Between her feet is a second statue. This one is about 12 feet tall. This is a well-muscled woman. She only has one arm. Her other arm ends just above her elbow.
Both statues.
Would Lila recognize? I mean, she would most likely recognize these statues, or maybe she wouldn't. Having been there
She probably. It is likely that this. Give me a history.
before. Oh boy! Don't roll under the computer. Okay. That's going to be really bad. That's a 3.
This is someone really important. You get that much. And
I will convey that she looks very important. Everyone.
I agree. She's quite tall, at the very least.
Extremely. Is this a painted statue or is it just a stone statue?
no, this is a carved statue, a stone
Full
statue.
carved. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Can I call upon my not to cramp your style? Can I call upon my own readings and?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, just make me feel great, Chad.
Yes.
Would that be a history or?
Yes, a history, please.
Oh, sure.
History or religion, your choice.
Oh, okay. That would be a 14.
Okay, because this is what you have been studying, mostly under Temperance, who seems to have been doing the bulk of the research and then informing Dr. Kettle, that this is likely to be Octopot. And the statue of the woman seated beneath Octopot's feet is likely Nefir, her wife.
Okay. I mean, it was very nice to give a statue to her partner as well. Maybe keep the sizes a little bit together, but I'm not an art critic.
I mean, it is a god king. Do you think that the ego is small?
Very, very, very well said. Very well said. Does it look like the?
I think it's entirely appropriate.
I wonder how big a statue the doctor would have.
Bigger than this one. The doctor is very small, like maybe comes up to just the top of the pinky toe.
Oh, great. Okay.
But the doctor does say, and there's a room there. There's something. Pointing behind the statue of Nefir. And there is also something over there. And there is you don't necessarily, everybody give me a perception roll, please.
13. 18.
That is a 12.
17.
17. Yeah. Okay. Anyone who was 17 or higher would see it, but everyone else, you're just seeing the doctor pointing at another wall of hieroglyphics. Right here. Don't you see it? I mean, honestly, everyone can see this. No?
No.
This is why I'm in charge. Look what I have discovered. So there's a room here and there's a room there.
Lila walks a little bit closer so that the light cantrip kind of, the light illuminates the area a little bit better. Indeed, there is a room there. Would you like to open it?
Yeah, open
Let's discover it. Sure.
I mean,
You
we've already
discover it.
discovered it. Would you like to open it?
Absolutely. And the doctor looks at it and he sort of pushes a couple of different points on the hieroglyphics, and Temperance and he looks at her and she goes, and the door slides open. And there is a small, it's dark in there.
I think Reader winks at Temperance, but he doesn't know how to wink, so he just blinks both eyes at her.
Okay.
Like a good job wink, like good one.
And Temperance sort of, it's all the doctor. She takes notes. Who'd like to go take a look in here?
I mean, it's kind of my job.
Yes, I guess it is as well. I make sure my candle wick is lit before we go back in.
You just like hear somebody put the candle back.
Temperance says, and you see her taking notes. Strange.
So
hidden.
So I would go in, and I mean it's slightly illuminated if I know how I was told this works with the light, so I can kind of see it there.
Okay. Vargas, where are you?
I am perhaps maybe looking for things covered in gold. I'm just saying, you know, there could be like a loose.
Did you want to go? Did you look in this? Did you want to look in this room, or do you want to? This is the hidden room.
So somebody's already stuck their face in the probably cursed hidden room, correct? Like, and their face didn't melt off. Okay, then
I mean, you don't see if their face melted off or not, but
I didn't hear any screams.
You didn't hear any screams.
Yeah, I'll look around like the statue, like, you know, maybe there's like, I don't know, an emerald stuck in there or something. Okay. But I will also like kind of like try and take a peek in the I don't want to get my face melted off by a curse like in the Mummy. Like, that's my main goal. My face is very handsome. I also don't want to get eaten from the inside by bugs. So.
Oh, those scarabs, they go up your skin.
No.
None of that. But I didn't hear anybody scream, so I'll like, you know.
Okay. Well, he's made out of metal, so the scarabs probably would have avoided him.
Oh, but yes. The doctor also peeked in, too. So the doctor wanted to go discover the room as well. Yeah. And there was not a scream there. Okay, so the light off of Reader's candle is illuminating, and you see the walls of this room. It's a small room. The walls are carved with a lunar disc on top of Gotcha, and the light also coming off of Lila's amulet is now illuminating the room as well. The walls are carved with a lunar disc on top of a crescent moon, and the largest wall has a painting of a man with the head of an ibis seated on a throne.
Interesting.
There is also a pedestal, Vargas, with a glittering purple gemstone. You can all give me knowledge or religion checks.
On identifying the dog man.
Yes, and the symbology in here.
No,
and
is it the dog or the ibis? You said the head was.
It's the head of an ibis, and Lila, if you would like to, you may also give me a second religion check.
Definitely rolled a 2, so I don't know anything. I'm just like a brand new baby.
That'd be a 20.
That looks like a nat 20 face.
Nice. Oh, who got nat 20?
Which makes me. Yeah, and Reader, you got a 20 as well?
It was a 26, but not. It's a dirty 26.
Okay, so
whatever. Yeah.
Reader, you recognize that this is the iconography and an illustration of Thoth, who is the god of wisdom and divination. And Lila, you know also, additionally, that Thoth is the husband to Ma'at, the goddess of justice, who weighs the souls of the dead.
Interesting. What business do these two gods have here in a place not dedicated to them? That seems strange, correct?
The gods have a place everywhere, Reader. Do you not know that?
Well, you know, I'm still new to the subject. If you want to talk about shipbuilding, I know much about that.
I have no need of shipbuilding. I live in a desert.
Oh, your time will come when you'll need a ship. Don't you worry. Is the metagame? Is this like? Am I aware the same thing that these are gods that are kind of in the same like pantheon, so to speak, right?
They are in the same pantheon roughly, but they are not really worshipped here. They're not common in this region at all. These are sort of very esoteric, almost mythologized within the mythology.
Okay.
A question,
Yes.
and this is semi out of game just because of Thoth and the scribe that is missing, because that would have been a scribe god. Would Lila know this? I mean, you said she would know that he was the god of knowledge and...
Yes, you do know that the iconography of Thoth often includes, he was ascribed to the gods, and that he often was depicted holding scrolls or writing implements, or recording the ongoing.
Yes.
The scribe that went missing, did their case not have an ibis on it? It seems coincidental.
That is very coincidental, and I think you and I both already know that when there's this much of a coincidence, it's not a coincidence. Blink, wink. Blink, wink. I also, by the way, I'm very into this deity of someone who collects parchment and writing. This religion thing's not as bad as I thought.
Thoth is very important. Yes.
Do any of you here? I turn back to the rest of the party. Do any of you worship these gods at all? Should we be taking our shoes off or anything?
I mean, not this one.
Lila would look at the very, very dirty floor full of sand. I don't believe that they care.
Mercy pokes her head in and says, I don't know who these are.
They sound cool, though. I mean, divination and justice, like, those are good things.
Bosley rolls her eyes.
Souls of the dead sounds like a servant of death. We must be on the right track.
Yeah, are there any writings in the room, perchance? Theoretically, if you were going to worship someone of keeping of the records, there should be records in here. Their most prized possessions.
There has already been proof that there were incursions.
True, very true, very true. Is there anything like any parchments or anything left behind, or any writings in the room?
No, you do not see any parchments or writings left behind in the room.
Okay.
Vargas, what are you doing?
So I have this glove. It also has purple jewel on it. And I want to see if like the one in the jewel, or the jewel on the glove is like bigger. Is it like the same type of jewel?
No, it's a freestanding, it would fetch a good price. This is like on display. There might have been a nice pillow under it, but that has rotted away if there were. But it is on a pedestal on display.
I would like to check around it to make sure there's like nothing like somebody's gonna.
Would I notice that this person is very interested in this very shiny thing?
You are looking at the walls, correct? You're examining.
I saw the statue and then I looked around. I was looking around.
Okay, so this is sort of, I think, happening simultaneously.
Okay.
Unless, Vargas, do you want to be sneaky about this, or do you want to be noticed?
I mean, nobody's using it. Was it full? It's not. Okay.
Did you find something, Vargas?
Yeah, I did. It's a big rock.
Ooh, it's shiny.
Be careful with that. I mean, everything here is probably dangerous, so just make sure it's not like cursed or anything, you know?
I mean, what, like, living is a curse, is it not?
Vargas, it's a mummy. It's a mummy tomb. Please do not touch anything.
At least like inspect it before you like.
Yeah, I wanna
don't
take
eat it or anything.
It's just like one big giant ring pop, like.
take a look at the
essentially, this is a gem of ring pop.
Can I
Would
like
it be grape
inspect
flavor?
It makes your hands very sticky. I'm sorry?
Can I like inspect it to see like
Yes, absolutely. It's beautifully clear. It is it looks like it might be an amethyst.
Okay.
What other kinds of inspections are you doing on it?
Can I do like I want to see if it's like cursed. Can I like would that be Arcana? Would that be
Do you have detect curse?
No.
Okay.
I think the way to detect a curse is you just take the treasure and you see what happens.
No.
Ooh, I have a test I want to do. I want to try and like touch it with one of the Beanie Baby hands. Like just be like,
Okay.
Zap it. Zap the Beanie Baby.
You Vargas, you reach out and you stretch your hand toward it, and you feel almost a pull toward it as you touch the Beanie Baby to it, but nothing happens.
I picked up the gem with the Beanie Baby and I immediately turn around to Voss and be like, remember how you told me just 2 seconds ago not to touch anything?
Yeah, because
So as Sorry, go ahead.
this is a tomb of a mummy, so everything is probably booby trapped.
Well, I picked it up, as you can see. Well, technically not me, but it told me to, so it's fine.
Can Vasily smack it out of his hand?
So actually something happens before that conversation happens. So Vargas, the second you pick it up and you have it in both hands, you have your vision changes and you're seeing now into the stone. It's almost like you get pulled into it for a moment. Give me a D100, please. A percentile.
Oh no.
Rip.
It's what I deserve.
It is what you deserve.
It's what I deserve. Wait, I think that's a percentile die. Let me just, I don't have a D1 handy. Oh, D1 handy. 24.
Okay. You see a woman with a long white braid, misty blue skin. She has a thorny whip at her side, and she is wearing very fitted black leather armor dotted with purple gems. It almost looks like spider's eyes in the glint of darkness. And she is speaking with a Vistani woman who has a 3-stringed instrument on her back. She has tan skin and bright skirts, and they're looking at a map. And you see the woman with the instrument pointing to the map, and you see the white-haired woman nodding, and her eyes sort of set. And then you're out of it.
Ugh, this gem sucks. I put it back. I don't want this. I put it back with the beanie, like, I don't want that.
What happened?
Yeah, what did you do? Are you cursed now? Are you dying? Are you dead?
Life is a curse. This is the prison.
Oh, he's just depressed. Just ignore him.
Oh, that's normal. That's normal for him, is it?
That's very normal for him lately.
It's probably worthless anyway. A magic stone show you awful things, like, ugh.
Awful
I
things,
don't want
like
that.
Oh, it will be okay, Vargas. And Mercy goes over and just kind of side hugs Vargas.
You smell very nice today, just want you to know that.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
I smell nice every day.
That's true. And then I hug her with my arm, but also the Beanie Baby. It's just like, it's a big, nice hug.
It's weird, but you're going through things.
I'm
so
going
it's okay
through
for
so
now.
many things.
I think at this point, Lila would turn around from the wall and just see this like semi-group hug and just, is this normal? Are we?
I mean, sometimes we
I-
like to hug, but usually
Ugh.
Vasily doesn't like to hug, so we don't really hug her. But
I am
we
going
would
through
like
some
to.
things, you tall, beautiful angel. Just want you to know. Also, Vasily, remember how you told me I wasn't supposed to touch anything? I definitely touched something, just so you know.
Yeah, you're awful. We're probably gonna walk out of here, and there's gonna be a pit full of spikes or something. You need to not touch things.
I
Not
do.
learned?
I do admire your interest in examining artifacts, Vargas.
Yes.
If could I inspect it at all to see how it was placed where it was originally before you disturbed it?
Yeah. Disturbed it.
Absolutely. How are you trying to look at that?
I guess I was trying to see like if I could pick up any kind of nature or purpose to its arrangement. You said it was like a crescent moon, correct?
That's carved on the wall. That is a symbol of
sorry.
Thoth. Yeah.
I think that's
so-
what you and I were looking at before the group.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Happened.
So this amethyst stone, yeah, is it just looking if there's anything about the way it was carved? If it looks like if it's just like, oh, a cool stone versus we put this here as a part of the tomb, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it looks like a very well carved stone, a very high quality gemstone, that was placed in some sort of place of honor in this room.
Interesting. Well, really, my top question is, are those beanie children for sale?
It depends. How much do you want to pay me for one?
Whatever I gain from this excursion, money's not really a thing for me.
My gosh, man. Don't understand the words that just came out of my mouth. I will give it to you for 500 electrum. It's like kind of falling apart. It's like one of those things that's been very clearly loved. Like the tag is like kind of like chewed up. And like it's a little threadbare. 500. It's vintage, you know.
What's its name?
I open the tag. Vasily.
Did you forget my name?
I do. Look, here's the thing. All of your weird children have different names too, so who knows?
I will trade you for this wonderful Vasily bean child, but
This is weird.
Yes, this is very weird, but I'm not going to stop it.
I'm confused by this interaction, and I will return to studying the wall.
Temperance, take the gem. We should take it for the artifacts. We have use for it.
I don't think you should take it. It's not yours.
Let him take it. If he gets cursed, it'll be really funny.
I mean, is it taking or is it discovering?
I think it's a discovery.
There we go. We wouldn't have museums if we didn't discover things.
I believe I have.
See,
found
this one
that
understands. I don't know why the rest of you don't.
Yeah.
For people like the doctor, it seems that discovering and taking seem to mean the same thing to them, even when it belongs to someone else.
Semantics.
Doctor, if I may, wasn't the purpose of our expedition to suppress the awakening of an ancient god? There was nothing about pilfering jewels.
You never know when you might need a gem for a spell component, or there's plenty of use. We're gonna take it. It's fine. Let's go. And Temperance goes, okay, doctor, and takes the gem and has a moment, and then she goes and puts it in her bag.
Can I put one of the other Beanie Babies like where the gem was?
Absolutely, you may.
No one will know. See, it's fine now. And then I will give like one of the other Beanie Babies. I'll just like tuck it into Reader's like adventure vest. But you can have that one.
Okay. As long as it's the same mark, quality and series line, that's fine.
It's
Same
the serial
edition.
numbers are nearly identical.
It smells faintly of French fries and grease.
Yes.
Okay.
Fond memories. Okay. Well, Doctor, I don't really see any gods sleeping or awake here. Maybe this is not the room for us.
No, this seems to be for some strange reason that person. They have a strange head. It's not the head of a horror site. Temperance, take a note, and we should move on.
No, that
Let's
is
go.
Thoth. That is the. And she's, I mean, I assume the doctor just keeps walking and Lila's like, but it's...
Onward, let's go.
Were we able to glean anything from that mural on the wall? Did the mural mean anything?
In that room? No, it was recognizing Thoth.
Just the decoration.
Well,
okay.
symbology, different symbology of Thoth.
Just shout outs to Thoth. Just
that. Yeah.
Just thoughts, just thought
Thought
things.
Hashtag
Shout out to my boy. Thoth.
Hashtag thought things.
Could reader pull Temperance aside as everyone's kind of walking out and go,
Of course.
Temperance, if I may, do most of your excursions into tombs, does the doctor take things with him?
On occasion, he does find uses for them as spell components or as just for the archives. But he does. We don't go on that many adventures in tombs together. I did my field work in tombs, but he did his in a library.
You have more practical experience. Interesting. Okay. Well, Temperance, I bow to your knowledge here. I think Temperance is like my boss still too, right? Like in terms of how it works.
He calls her his intern, but really kind of on the roster, she's practically at the same level in terms of being in charge of the expedition.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
She's middle manager of this expedition at the very least, above us, probably. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
She basically runs essentially the lab where you have been doing a lot of your work.
Okay. Cool.
Mr. Kettle, did you say you saw another room?
Yes. Well, there's one right there behind that smaller statue as well, and I think there's some more stuff. There's another hallway over there somewhere. Looks like.
Should we check the room behind the little statue?
I suppose if you'd like, we can go discover that for sure. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Temperance. And yes, doctor.
Lila and Reader, of course, will trot right on over.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for calling us the red shirts. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. I didn't like this job anyway.
Before we go in, I just wanted to ask kind of like a knowledge question about the partner's statue. You said was missing an arm, right?
Yes.
Do I know in that history of like was that was it like lost in a battle? Like is that part of that character's history, so to speak?
You had a 20?
I think so. Yeah, I had 20 something on the knowledge of both of them, I believe.
It seems that just was who she was. There wasn't any specific lore of her arm being lost in a battle. That she just had one arm.
Interesting. Okay.
That was Nafir.
Okay.
That's all I
had. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mercy, the door to that room is open.
Oh. Okay. Well, I have dark vision. Peering into the room, do I see anything?
Yes, with your dark vision, you see that there is a sarcophagus with its lid off of it. The lid is broken and shattered on the floor.
By the dust situation happening in the room, can I tell if this is recent or this happened a while ago?
This looks like it's old. There are also some hieroglyphics on the wall.
Okay. Mercy is going to stride into the room kind of like on her the toes of her hoofs.
Okay.
If that's a thing that can happen.
Absolutely.
I don't know how hooves work. And to try to like peer into the open sarcophagus.
Okay.
Give me a quick dex check. Just to make sure that you can get there without disrupting too much.
Just a check. That check would be a 12.
Okay. Does your acrobatics add anything to that?
Same thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You there's a slight clicking of your hooves on the stone floor, but you're able to walk over and you can peer in. You see that there is a piece of a broken ankh in there.
Oh, okay.
And that is what is in the sarcophagus. It is empty otherwise.
What material is the ankh made out of, or the piece of an ankh?
It's obsidian.
Okay. I would like to investigate before I touch it.
Okay.
But then I would like to pick it up so that Vargas can have something shiny.
Okay. What kind of investigation would you like to do on it?
Mercy would probably lean towards doing more of an Arcana check. To see if there's she senses like a magical presence.
So are you doing like a detect magic or?
I can't do detect magic. Basically, I want to check if there's like signs of a trap of some sort.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, it's a 5.
Okay. You pick it up. Okay.
Yeah. That's me checking.
Is anyone else coming into this room as well?
Lila would have followed Mercy.
Lila is there?
Sacrificial Pawn Reader is there.
Okay.
Vargas is also there.
Vargas? Constantina?
Sure. I don't think I would want to be too far from everyone.
Okay, and Vasily?
No, Vasily 100% stands outside the door with her arms crossed.
Smart.
Okay.
Tell our story, Vasily. Tell our story.
I won't, but sure.
And as she's picking it up before something terrible happens, Mercy's saying, "Oh, Faradgeese, Luke, I discovered these for you."
Like muted in 2 places. It's a piece of obsidian, you said?
Yes.
Oh, so it's like a black, it's like black and shiny. I'd be like, oh, I love it. I love it. It's garbage, but that's okay.
And then, Mercy, you blink and the room has changed. You are in a different place and you are in charge of everything. The world is at your whim. You are in your home and your queen is there with you, and you have just returned back from the Temple of the Gods.
I've returned from the Temple of the Gods, and I turn to my wife and I say, my beauty, the gods have finally heard me. I'm blessed. I will live forever.
And the rest of you, you're hearing Mercy speak a different language.
Do we recognize the language?
Yes.
Vargas slowly like moves his hands away and be like, you know what, actually, I am sorry I said it was trash. I don't, she sounds very angry at me.
Everyone sees Mercy kind of reaching her arm out. I guess she was kind of standing facing Vargas, so she kind of reaches her arm out towards Vargas as he backs away. But in her head, Mercy sees herself reaching out to the woman depicted by the smaller statue, Nefir. And Nefir crumbles to the floor.
As soon as you touch her, the light in her eyes just goes out and she falls to the floor dead. As if like a candle in a gust of wind as the gods take her from you.
As the great Elton John once said.
5,000 candles in the wind.
The rest of you are hearing Mercy speaking in this other language, and Kettle sort of is staring, and then all of a sudden goes, Temperance, take notes. And Temperance is taking notes, and he begins to try and translate. And seventh time the sun, seventh time the son of sons doth rise to send the and Mercy, the sun in the room around you, you see the sun rise and set 7 times, and then you see the burial rituals for your wife You see the customs as she is prepared for burial. As the sun continues to rise and set during those 7 times. And the final ceremony is completed, and it is now deep in the night. And you see a being wrapped in funerary linens approaching you. And she has one arm. And she comes closer. And she reaches out to you to embrace you.
All of you see Mercy kind of like throw up her arms in front of her, and she starts stumbling backwards until she like hits the sarcophagus, and almost kind of falls into it, and she just starts screaming, "Leave me be! Leave me forever! Go away! Go away!"
And Mercy, you see her begin to turn, and then she changes. And she changes into a tall woman with a very straight, rigid back. And she has raven hair, which cascades down in waves. She has olive skin, which is offset by a blue flowing dress, which trails behind her. And Mercy, on your hand, you feel a tingling warmth as your ring begins to glow. Dr. Kettle forms a sentence and understands as Temperance is scribbling furiously, says, 7th time the son of the sons doth rise to send the knave to an eternity of cries. And Temperance is continuing to write and write and write as Mercy has been uttering these syllables of a tongue that has been lost for centuries. What would you like to do?
So the rest of us just like are hearing Mercy like cry out, and then the doctor like scribbling or like transcribing or telling notes to Temperance.
You're hearing Mercy cry out she is muttering in a language that you do not understand. And the doctor is clearly hearing what she's saying.
But she looks distressed, right?
She does. And she has stumbled backwards against a sarcophagus, and you saw her do this.
I would like to like gently touch her because it seems like she's
okay,
reacting to something that the rest of us can't see.
Okay. And Mercy, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
Am I kind of shocked back into present time, or am I stuck in...
You are.
Okay. Mercy feels that hand. She has a kind of like a cold sweat. And she'll grab Constantina suddenly and kind of like give you a little bit of a squeeze. Oh, you're here. You're real. And
What happened?
I touched the little gift for Vargis, and then suddenly I was somewhere else. I think maybe I was seeing through the God King's eyes an octopod. Nefir was there, and she died, but then she came back, and it was terrible. She was coming for me.
Okay,
I'm so scared.
We should stop touching things. If Vargas, let's not touch anything else. Vasily, let's all be on the same page that we're not going to touch any more things, okay? Like, unless we like really check things out, because you both like had weird like visions upon touching things, and I don't think that that's very helpful right now. So we will
counterpoint, if I may. As much as I want no harm to fall on any of you, we should repeat the experiment and see, right? Perhaps with the control, I nominate myself to try again and see if a similar, result occurs.
You should touch that rock. I'll give you another beanie baby to do it.
Another beanie baby? Well, that's 500 electrons or whatever you call your money here.
I just think that we should be careful. I mean, if we're going to touch things, we should maybe do some due diligence or something before we just start, poking things, because we don't know if this is making things worse, if it will maybe empower whatever, we're trying to defeat, or if they can see us speak through it, that's magic is complicated and dangerous, so just be careful.
Lila, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I just wanted to do something nice for Varghese, and he said it was nice, right, Varghese? You like it?
I did like the garbage rock that you gave me, that is true. I like it less so now, because apparently it is full of curses. So. But you didn't know that at the time. Not one to look gift Owlbear in the beak.
Let's find Varghese a not cursed, sparkly thing. Varghese, we will definitely find you something, but I don't know if this is the best place to be, shopping for jewelry or whatever. So
it's fair. It's fair.
While they're talking, Lila would have, because she was already next to the sarcophagus with Mercy, she would kind of... Did you drop the piece back in the sarcophagus, or where is it?
I had turned to hand it to Varghese.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it probably is dropped, next to the sarcophagus from when I stumbled back.
So Lila would like to kneel next to it, and before touching it, would like to cast Detect Good and Evil.
Okay. You sense... you do not sense anything coming from it. You do not sense any aberrations, fae, fiend, undead coming from it. Or in the immediately surrounding area.
I do not believe that the stone itself is cursed. But I think you were seeing a memory.
I concur.
I think...
Was it Octopot's memory?
If you were seeing Nefir, it would make sense.
She said, or I said, I don't know, I'm very confused. I said that I would live forever. That the gods have blessed me.
I feel like I just need to ask, do any of you usually have experience such as this when picking up artifacts? Is this part of your thing? Am I part of a CSI sitcom where if you touch cursed items, you flash back, like the Ghost Whisperer sort of thing?
Mercy thinks for a second and then raises her hand.
Yes. You have a history with such.
I do sometimes see things, then I touch things, or then I walk into places. Usually they're dead.
That is
take an inspiration for that.
It is very handy. I actually, Reed just wants to ask, and instead of turning to the doctor, he turns to Temperance and goes, is any of this fitting what you expected to find in this tomb?
We had some guesses about the God King. Some records indicated that that he was surrounded by many undead, and some of the hieroglyphs out there they seem to show that he had some sort of curse blessing that was allowing him to. It's unclear whether it was grant life or cause death. The runes are slightly confusing and ambiguous, but something in that vein. But there's nothing in here that indicates that Nefir was ever returned or came back or that she. That's why they seem to have left the tomb open for her.
It was left waiting for her, is what you're saying.
Yes, it seems they don't specify how she died, but they don't mention her as one of the living dead either.
Interesting.
Which is strange because most of Octopot's ilk were eventually the living dead, from what I can tell. I think.
I was sure it was Nafir. She was wrapped in her linen still, and she had the one arm. I was sure it was her.
I don't know. It seems they never had her come back, and that's why they've left the tomb open all these years.
If you have seen things like this before, maybe it was a warning to you?
A warning? Do you think maybe Nafir is here still?
It's very possible.
It is possible. They would have interred her here.
Is the way all like the rubble and rocks?
So what Mercy saw and what the hieroglyphs have shown, just to clarify, is they buried her and she came to Ankh-Tapat in the night and then never returned.
Okay.
So we have a missing body, is what we're saying.
We have missing
In the vision,
mummy.
what you could tell from the vision, she seemed to walk into the desert, out into the wilds. But you saw this woman in the blue dress with the long dark hair.
Oh yeah. And then the ring on my hand burned. The stained glass ring. I don't know what that means. Oh no, chat, what does it mean?
This is just a long shot. This is still a new field for Reader. But maybe there's a way to satisfy this tomb and give it its proper burial while its proper owner is not here. Maybe we can sort of play act one out and have a... I'm going on a limb here, but if you know in the Mummy... Sorry, I'm not going to break the meta.
I haven't. I've seen mummies, but I don't know of the mummy.
Well, if it's a very good film in the dimension I caught glimpses of. But if there was a way to satisfy
Temperance looks puzzled.
Temperance is like, I'll tell you about the great Brendan Fraser later.
A film? Like on top of milk?
It's kind of like that. But what I'm going for is if there's any way to satisfy this tomb's requirements. If any of us were, say, to dress up and pretend to have a burial here, maybe the spirits would be put at rest. It's just a crazy idea.
Like a performance? Like we could do like a little show, a little play.
Yes. Crazy idea.
A
like
ritual? So it's like a ritual.
A ritual, yes. Much better than a stage play.
Oh. I was just spitballing here, okay? Like
I've never heard of that, but I suppose we could try it if you wanted to.
I like rituals, like when you find somebody who's done something bad, and so you ritually sacrifice them to death, and you dedicate their death to these three horsemen, so that the apocalypse does not happen. Is that sort of ritual?
Yes, just like that. And Vasily like grabs Kettle by the collar and is like, does anyone have a dress we can put him in?
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I have dresses on me.
I don't know that
is really regretting her boss sending her on this job at this point. This is very confusing for someone who just lives in like a cloistered temple.
Well, maybe clothes don't matter. Maybe we can just put him in the tomb and see what happens.
Yeah, and yes, Doctor, this would be a bold exploration of the tomb itself. I think a grand honor, if anything.
And Vasily, he whispers to you as you have him up by the collar. He goes, "I'll tell you the whole prophecy."
The what? And she says that very loudly. Like she just Do you excuse me, do you know more than you're telling us?
I got the whole thing down.
And Vasily like lets him down, like puts him down, but still is like holding onto the front of his shirt. Tell me, what are you talking about?
I was making you an offer.
Okay. You're gonna have to enlighten me a little bit more. I'm getting very frustrated with you. You're a very frustrating man. I normally don't get this mad visibly.
Are you saying this loudly enough for everyone to be included in this, or are you having this as a private conversation?
She's saying it loudly because she's not picking up on the fact that he's trying to be secretive.
Okay.
She's not picking up on it.
Oh, what that one said.
Bosley like looks to the side and
like, I got a little bit more of it than I might have said.
A little bit more of go ahead. Tell us.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Persuade with my fists. I'm pretty good at that. I smack Vargas a lot. Ooh, okay, that was actually really good. 19 plus 3.
Okay. He snaps his fingers and Temperance hands him the book. And he shows it to you. I am going to give you what it says, and you may do with it as you wish.
Secrets.
I feel like Vasily would read it out loud in an annoyed way.
100%. I guess it depends on what it says, but she does not care about keeping this man's secrets. She's very irritated with him.
Why? He's a lovely, charming person.
So endearing.
He adjusts his goggles and says, "Well, actually," a few more times.
Oh my god. Sits down on a little stone bench and like spreads his legs apart as far as he can.
Just like man spreading everywhere. It's just. Yeah.
This is what is written in his book. Okay.
Can she like rip that out of his book and put it in her pocket because it's very long and she's not going to remember it?
Yeah.
Okay, she just like grabs it, snatches his book out of his hands. She's like, no, you said I could have this. You said I could read it. So she just like
all seeing this at this point?
What is happening?
She just like rips the papers out of the book.
You saw Vasily grabbed Balthasar by the collar and held him up, and then she started yelling about something, and he snapped his fingers and grabbed a book and showed her something, and then you saw her rip a page out of it. And I think huffy about it.
I think by the way, I think Reader like shuddered when he saw a page ripped out of the book. It was just like, oh, it just hurt real bad.
Vasily mentally tucks that away, that he also cares about books and he knows about hydration and he knows about capitalism. It's very advanced. She just she like folds the paper up and sticks it in her pocket and like shoves kettle again for good measure.
Okay. He kind of shoves up against the wall. Well, Temperance, make a note. We discovered an empty sarcophagus belonging to Nefir. We found it. It's ours. We found it. Onward. And he walks out of the room, adjusting his thing.
Doctor, respectfully, information is supposed to be shared with everyone, not kept privately in an academic study.
Are you following him out of the room?
Yeah, I think so. I'm doing it very respectfully, but just like, I just want to remind you of how I was raised about academic studies.
He just marches ahead crankily.
Okay, well, not working for this doctor anymore, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he seems pretty awful.
There is it is pretty late in the day. You have had a long day. The secret room seems like it could be a potentially defensible spot to take a rest for the evening. This also could be a spot that has only one entrance and could be a defensible spot. If you wanted to rest here, you could. You also could continue on.
I wouldn't mind exploring this tomb more. I feel like there's more mysteries here that we haven't uncovered yet. And now there's books are being murdered, and this is becoming a very dark adventure.
Yeah, Mercy feels a sense of urgency to press herself as much as she can.
Mm-hmm. Lila definitely would. She has a need to see what else is going on in here now.
Okay. Kettle stomps ahead, and Temperance scuttles up after him, just, oh, Professor! And everyone follows. And up ahead, you hear a low moaning. And that is where we will end it for this evening.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Is it Brad? Is it Brad just still making his way back?
My leg! Oh, my torso!
I feel like this is where probably Vargas would do the thing from the Mummy with every amulet that is on the neck.
Your white devil.
That was wonderful and spooky and a great first delve into the tomb. Thank you, our lovely guest DM, Chen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do some outros, and we're gonna go backwards. So let's start with Chad.
Oh man, okay. What are we doing? We say like favorite foods, that sort of stuff, or?
Yeah. Well, now, yes. Who you are, where folks can find you, anything you want to plug, and your favorite food.
Okay, great. Hi, yeah, again, my name is Chad Quant. You can find me on the internet's social medias that I choose to be on at Quantum Theory. And you can check out my work. Like I said before, if you like animation, fantasy cartoons that are very much in the vein of this campaign, I have written for Troll Hunters. It's on Netflix. And I have written for the spin-off series Wizards that is coming out sometime this year that I cannot tell you the date yet. Not say, but keep excited to that on Netflix. You also can check out a podcast that I am very passionate about called Goosebuds, where me and some of my friends read Goosebump books, and we mostly just make fun of them. But we actually just released some merch that great Kayla herself designed for us. So thank you very much for that, Kayla, by the way. Did us some honor. You can check that out on Goosebuds or Goosebuds Pod on Twitter. And my favorite food is probably just a jar of peanut butter, just straight out of the jar.
Creamier. I'm totally forgetting what the other option of peanut butter is.
Crunchy?
Crunchy.
Thank you. I wanted to say chunky, and then I was like, "That no way they market it like that."
Well, for special fat boys like me, you get ones that just say chunky on it, and they're like, "We know what it's for. It's gonna turn you chunky." That's me.
Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly, the Opera Geek. You can follow me on Twitter at the Opera Geek, where you can find all my links. Also on my website, kellybutler.com, where it does have audio and video of me actually performing in operas because I am a literal opera geek and I do this professionally. So yeah, that's me. Do I have a favorite food? like right now I want all the food because like I'm stuck in this apartment and there's so much food I want. I think I'm gonna hit the all-you-can-eat Japanese barbecue like the day after quarantine's lifted.
Oh man,
Yes.
Korean
Definitely.
barbecue is the most like untouchable quarantine food right now.
It's like it's so good and it's all I want right now.
Oh, now I'm
Oh,
hungry.
this is torture.
Instead, I'm just making myself boxed macaroni and cheese. Okay.
Let's move on to Kayla.
Hi, I'm Kayla. You can find me online at KAYNCLI. I draw stuff tomorrow on twitch.tv/Holly Conrad at like 6 Eastern. Yes. Holly and I are going to talk about spooky stuff on Spooky Saturday. So that's a lot of fun. My favorite food is tacos. I love tacos a lot. I could eat tacos for every meal. So
Yum.
my
Yummy.
weakness.
I just love food.
Yeah.
Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley Warren. You can find me on Twitter at AshleyNHWarren or on my website, scribemind.com. I'm running a free poetry challenge throughout the month of April. So if you need a fun creative challenge to do right now, you can still sign up. It's just a fun daily poetry thing with a bunch of cool writers. I'm also the director of the RPG Writer Workshop, and we have some new courses available. So you can go to www.rpgwriterworkshop.com and learn some cool stuff about writing for D&D and other cool rule sets. My favorite food, does fermented grapes, aka wine, count as food? Because that was probably mine.
A liquid food.
Liquid food. I don't know. I have a lot. Peanut butter is a good one. Taco is a good one. Maybe not together. Depends on the taco, I guess.
All right. On that note, Hadeel.
I'm your pal Hadeel. You can find me online or don't. It's up to you. I'm not your dad. At Twittysuch, TWITTYSUCH. I don't do anything because I don't have time right now, somehow. But my favorite food is pizza flavored Pringles.
Ooh,
that
good
I remember
one.
I have upstairs. I'm gonna eat them. The end.
Yummo, crunchy snack. Jen.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for having me. Thank you so much, TK, for letting me hop in here and hang out and do this. I am Jen Kretchmer. You can find me on Twitter as @DreamWisp and on Twitch as DreamWispJen. I am a writer, producer, actor. I make your quality television. You can also find me on Beyond Heroes on Wednesdays on D&D Beyond's channel from 2 to 4 Pacific. And I'm always around talking about D&D, DMing things, all that stuff. So I'm also currently doing Mutants in the Night on Tuesdays on the Big Dungeon Show. So that's really fun as well. And yeah, this was a blast. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being amazing.
Yeah, thank you. What's your favorite food?
Oh, my favorite food. Probably pasta. I love pasta.
Can't go wrong, really.
Pasta
with
or bread. I'm a carbs girl.
Carbs.
I love them.
Yummy. I am Lysa Penrose. You can find me on the social medias at Lysa Penrose. I'm the brand manager for Dungeon Masters Guild, which you can go to dungeonmastersguild.com for lots of fun adventures, player options, anything 5th edition D&D. Oof. If you liked this show, you can follow us at Misttales D&D or go to talesfromthemist.com where you'll find a link to our Discord server as well. It's super fun in there. Please join us. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Jen, again, for running us through some awesome tomb raiding, and spooky flashbacks. And if you all missed TK, it's them, it's TK. We'll be back next week to continue the rest of the season. Until then, sleep well, Mistwalkers.